Oh no! Welcome! Welcome to another star to steer her by. Jesus fucking Christ. So we're here. Yeah, I'm just gonna be this level of antagonized all episode
With an intro
long.
like that, I'm sure our listeners can't fucking wait to get started now.
No, they want to know what we're talking about this week, because this week we're on episode 204.
Woo!
And we're covering some more Deep Space Nine episodes. Episodes that make me wonder what the fuck Jake was thinking many episodes ago when he said, Ferengi episodes are my favorite episodes.
Did I say that?
And now I'm judging you hard.
Did I say Ferengi episodes are my favorite?
I think you said some of your
That
favorites.
sounds like something you would say.
No,
Sounds
there is one Ferengi episode that is probably in my top 5.
Which one?
The Magnificent Ferengi.
Have we seen that
we
yet?
haven't
have
seen
not
that
seen
one
it
yet.
yet.
Okay.
Are you
okay.
sure that wasn't me? That sounds like something
I'm pretty
I'd
sure it was
say.
Jake. But anyway, so
Klingon episodes are among my favorites.
He said
Well-
that a lot.
well, this is going to be a week for what may have been Jake then, because we're talking about Ferengi love songs and Soldiers of the Empire. As always, this is Ames.
As you've come to expect, this is Caitlin.
As is occasionally the case, this is Chris.
Wow,
and out of
easy for you
order,
to say.
this is Jake.
Yep, I fucked it up. As soon as I talked, I was like, wait a minute.
I know, it made more sense when we sat around a table versus sitting in a Zoom screen.
Yeah, now it's just kind of a free-for-all.
A little bit. Whoever jumps in first. All right.
This is Chris.
Good. Chris is here.
Eh.
Fabulous. Good God, I'm sorry we have to talk about Ferengi love songs. We'll make
Not
it
me.
quick. We're here doing Ferengi love songs. The Vols are back, and they've closed down Quark's bar, leading to economic and psychological distress for Quark, which Ferengi are the same thing. Rom bursts in and reveals that if you like it, then you should have put a Bajoran earring on it, because he and Lita are engaged. I told you,
Barf.
I got jokes for this week, because it's the only way I can get through.
Good joke. Nice
Thank
house.
you. Thank you. Quark goes to visit Moogie to try to get his spirits up, and Star Trek is replaced by a whole fucking gimmicky sitcom episode for a day. Let's see, we've got Wallace Shawn hiding in Quark's closet because he's now romantically seeing Ishka. We've got Jeffrey Combs hiding in Quark's closet because he wants to break up Zek and Ishka. Let's see, we've got Quark goes on 2 dates with 2 females on the same night, but they can't meet each other because it's a fucking sitcom. This whole show, it's a cartoon show all of a sudden, and the writers and the actors have all basically said, like, we admit this is a fucking cartoon show, end stop. I'm done. But really, somehow neither...
But seriously, folks.
But seriously, there actually is more. Fuck my life.
Oh, Ames doesn't like fun.
It's not even that it's fun, it's that it's stupid.
I know, I loved it.
God damn it.
Someone had
I might
to, right?
leave. So somehow...
Oh no, don't leave.
Neither Zek nor Ishka is up to anything nefarious in their relationship, which, rubbed me the wrong way. So Quark plants the seed in Zek's gigantic fucking ears that Moogie is secretly a radical feminist. Which is actually true, but it's not the point of this episode.
And it's
So we
also
kind of-
not a secret.
Yeah, so we kind of just forget that that's a thing, that, she actually is this thing that Quark is quote-unquote lying about. But, whatever. But Zek and Ishka break up, sad face. Meanwhile, the other profitable couple back on Deep Space Nine is going through some things, because Rom, damn it Rom, wants Lita to sign the waiver of property and profit that basically, would stop whatever happened with his first wife from happening, which was she seizes all of his assets in the event of a breakup. And Lita says, like fucking hell I will, this marriage is more off than Miles and Keiko's. Quark, however, has his business license back from Brunt, who's been around, but he also gets an offer from Zek to be his first clerk. Excitement! And as he's doing all this clerking work, Quark quickly learns that Zek has, Ferengi Alzheimer's or something, and his business acumen was only any good because Ishka was taking care of everything. So everything is in disarray. Brunt is trying to capitalize on all of this and become Negus himself, which would be better, worse, who knows? But something happens off screen and Zek saves the day or something. So, he hooks back up with Moogie. They give each other oo-mox. It's all fine. Back on Deep Space Nine, Rom is also back in the oo-mox zone because he's given away all his belongings so that the WP&P is now moot. He can marry Lita again, which just goes to prove that it's better to find loopholes in Ferengi policy than to accept your girlfriend's agency. Yay! The end.
Can we
Fuck
call
it.
them erogenous zones?
Ooh. Yes.
Thank you. Also, second follow-up question. Can the women experience oo-mox too, or just dudes? Like, I
Would the dudes actually do it?
Well, it's not... Well, I mean, I will say this. The lobes are much easier to find than the clitoris, so there's a chance you could at least trick them into it.
Well, I just feel like the male Ferengis wouldn't bother giving their females pleasure because they're misogynist assholes.
Fair, but I'm thinking of, like, nipples. Like, I feel like, women tend to like that sort of thing. Men, it's a little bit more, like, for,
Ticklish.
basis, whatever. What am I trying to say? I don't know, like a bi-person basis anyway, about nipples. So, like, are lobes just for dudes? Are they also for women? What do you think, readers?
Gross. I think it's all disgusting.
It is.
All I
but
know
at least
is,
it was all consensual this week.
True. All I know is, I think it's appropriate you refer to it as a sitcom, because I did feel like they were almost kind of running with that, and that the lighting
They
looked a
absolutely
little
were.
flatter, like in a sitcom.
There was a laugh track suddenly. That was weird.
All these guest stars just pop up and the audience goes, woo!
They actually kissed, and it was that ow ow. Here's another question. oo-mox tied to lobes. He was calling her his lobekins. Is that like calling somebody your? I don't even like. What would the equivalent to that be?
Clit queen.
Well, no, because I mean,
Who's my
lobes,
sweet little clitty? Like ooh.
lobes has a wider use in their society. I mean, having
that's
the
true.
lobes
They
means
say
having
all that.
acumen and this and that. So, I mean,
Yeah, I don't, despite the prevalence of oo-mox on this show, I don't actually think the ears are a universal, like, sexual thing. It seems it's not a one-to-one mapping to, a dick.
No, it's definitely a secondary sexual situation, but
Yeah. And
I just
think
have questions.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
more like
there's certainly
kissing
questions.
someone's neck,
yeah.
which you
Yeah.
don't do in public, but you can do in your private spare time.
Or, if you're a vampire, you do it after you've been invited in.
But also, you shouldn't do it because that's just not consensual when you're a vampire.
All right, but let's get off weird sex talk. First off, I wanted to
Get
ask...
off, is it?
Awful. What does everyone think of our new Ishka?
She's all right.
He's
Nah.
fine.
I miss.
Sounds
the old,
like the
I,
first
Yeah, I
one,
like
thought.
the old Ishka better, I
I
think.
miss the old Moogie.
It
She
felt
had
like
a
this one was just doing an impression of the first one the whole time.
kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I also read up that basically, like, this was her first time doing a show in which, you need this much prosthetic makeup,
Mm.
which is really fucking hard. So, you've got Shimmerman and you've got Abersion One, everyone else on set who, like, does this all the time, and they're fucking pros at it.
Yeah.
And then you get, I've lost her name already. It's gone now. Cecily Adams, I think, who comes in and says, like, I don't know how to move my face. How do I move my face? And I guess she just never did because her face, like, never moved all episode long.
Mm.
No.
Yeah.
I bet for most people, though, this show is their first time using such heavy prosthetics because it's a damn lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also would say that, to her, in her defense, maybe, she has among the heaviest prosthetics, I would
Yeah.
say.
Her and
Given
Brunt,
that,
like, you
like-
can't even see their faces.
Yeah. And, like, add on that, like, she had a lot of wrinkles on hers. It's also the first time probably for her acting with the mouthpiece,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so it's like, like all of the Ferengi and most of the Klingons, it's just like talking with marbles in their mouth.
Yeah. Plus, you're
Mhm.
also
Oh, yeah.
trying to do an impression of a different actor doing your character at the same time. So that
Yeah.
it's at least remotely consistent.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she had an uphill battle. I don't know that she won the battle, but I'll
Yeah.
give her points for trying.
Yeah, I just know that our first Moogie, whose name also escapes me, god damn it, basically said, like, it was way too much prosthetics. I can't do that again.
Oh, that's too bad.
Not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
It's just a shame. I really liked our original Mookie.
And so speaking of, like, so one of the goofy things, I don't know if we'll end up talking a lot about it, so I wanted to bring it up early.
Oh, good.
So one of the goofy things that I actually did kind of like about this was that Quark had action figures.
They
and
were
they
great.
were Ferengis with the electric
Marauder
whips.
Mo, they were so cute. Did you see their
I was
little
like, he's
electric
got the
whips?
whip!
Yay!
Yeah, I pointed that out to Caitlin. too. I
First
was like,
thing
"Look,
Chris
he's got the
said
whip."
was like, "Oh, look, it's got the whip."
I
What
like
was-
that. Okay, that was good.
What was even better was the like little nerd collector joke at the end. Do you know how much these are worth? They would have been worth more if you kept them in their original packaging, like I told you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that was
Typical
especially
nerds.
because like the mid '90s, especially, was when that was really taking off.
How many
Like-
Beanie Babies did Quark have?
Oh,
I don't know, but I can tell you I had hundreds.
Yeah, the subtle irony is I have a number of Star Trek action figures in their original packaging. So,
Wow.
well, because I think you were a kid when people were starting to get that advice.
Well, don't worry, because all the ones I have in their original packaging, I think, I have the duplicates out of their original
Oh, good.
packaging.
Perfect.
Yeah, because you want to play with them. Like, the
Yeah.
whole
You
point is to play.
Well, that's also like, I like that little bit at the end because, they have that, conversation and, Quark's, making like, this is just an investment to me. But then as soon as she's out of earshot, he's
Yeah.
he's playing with them.
Yeah.
And it kind of sums up Quark in that he's, outwardly very Ferengi and very business oriented and profit obsessed. But, if you, just skim a little bit of the top layer off, he's just, kind of a sweet person.
Yeah, he's also been saying, like, I've been becoming too humanized. I've been around these humans for so long that I've developed a conscience. Ugh.
Except really, even that's not true, because we find out that he didn't gouge the Bajorans as much as he could have during the occupation.
Yeah.
So that there was already the germ there, whether he realizes it or not.
Whether he would like to admit it or not.
That whole like I've said before, like really when it comes down to it, I know they've not said it, but I think it would make a lot more sense. I think just Brunt hates this whole family because all of them are wrong as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, and that's why I was, like, so taken out of this episode that Zek would want to be with Moogie for, like, actual pure romantic reasons when she is the antithesis of a Ferengi female. Like, she wears clothes and he's perfectly okay with it. And I'm like, this is not how, like, your Ferengi leader should be. I found it really weird that there wasn't, like, something underneath.
He kind of fell in love with her before he realized who she was, I think.
Yeah.
When he thought she was a man?
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
I mean, same thing happened to Quark.
Yeah,
With
that's
Pell?
true.
Oh,
yeah.
that's true. I do miss Pell. Pell was great.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was.
But I also think that the Grand Nagus is maybe he has had some residual impact from his encounter with the prophets.
Maybe.
I mean, he's also demented, right? Like, so like they that I don't know if it was handled in the most
Sensitive.
sensitive way in this episode. That like clearly this man has dementia,
Yeah.
and it's kind of played for laughs.
Yeah.
But I guess taking a page out of Syscom. That's a sitcom starring Cisco.
Oh,
Taking a page out of the sitcom handbook.
Well, God.
Dementia is hilarious. Oh,
Well, I
boy.
mean, it's funny because this is something they never mention again. But in the very first episode of Golden Girls, the explanation for why Sophia is just so blunt isn't just because she's old and doesn't give a fuck anymore. She had a stroke recently.
oh.
Yeah,
Which one is
that's
Sophia?
Huh?
Which one is
The
Sophia?
mother.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dorothy's mother, the
Estelle
oldest
Getty.
one that was actually
Got it.
played by the youngest one and all that. But, she just says whatever she wants. And they never bring it up again, so the show really just plays it up eventually as yeah, she doesn't care. She's 90, whatever. But yeah, originally it was like, ha, she had a stroke and now she says whatever. And you're just like, oh, God.
I totally forgot that.
Yeah, no, well, I didn't. It was horrifying.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, sitcoms do like to be like, ha ha, medical conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, and this was just a sitcom, so it just said, everything's gonna be hilarious, and anytime there's, like, something that should actually be kind of uncomfortable, we're just gonna play it off for laughs.
Yeah.
Like, I actually got a little bit uncomfortable when, so it's Jadzia and somebody talking to Rom about how you're the most un-Ferengi we know. And I'm like,
it's her and the chief.
Okay. And I was like, is this being kind of racist to Rom? Is this just
big
being
time.
mean to Rom?
I feel like this was the equivalent of, like, people who microaggress against black people by being like, you're so well-spoken.
So
You know?
articulate.
Well, that's the thing, is like
fucking
they
hate
meant
that
it as a
shit.
compliment, but because they weren't actually thinking it through, they just sent him into this fucking existential spiral.
Well,
Yeah, I
exactly,
have to
because
be
he
more
wasn't going to
Ferengi.
ask her to sign that stupid bullshit until they said all that stuff. I guarantee
Exactly.
it. He suddenly had something he had to prove. Ugh. And what he had to prove was, I mean, ugh. Ferengi, to be fair, do kind of suck.
Yeah, true. And I
Yeah,
really liked...
the society is garbage. I mean, the people might be okay, but they live in just a really horrible society.
Yeah,
They
and it's
do.
why I liked a bunch of things that Lita said this episode when, Rom was saying, you have to do this because I'm a Ferengi. And she says, yeah, but I'm a Bajoran. Like, you accepted this when we started dating, that I'm not Ferengi. I don't have to do this fucking bullshit.
She probably makes more money than he does, too, so he probably better watch it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because that human in that trill had to be so fucking racist.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually really put off by the giant Bajoran earring he was wearing.
Yep.
Like, why? Like, I understand that, like, okay, yeah, he's trying to, like, fit in with her culture, so he's gonna wear the earring, but did it have to be so comically huge?
Well, it had to be to fit his ears, right?
I figure they could have just, had a smaller, it would have been, maybe it looked more dumb just having a small earring.
Yeah, also, I feel like the Bajoran earrings, and this is kind of crosses the cultural appropriation line, but those earrings represent their faith and their culture and, like, all these other things. Him just wearing one to be like, I'm like my fiance. Like, he doesn't believe any of the things she believes.
Maybe it's like when you join somebody's family, you can
Yeah, because they do
take
also...
the symbol of their house.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ames. I think
Foreshadowing.
it's a little weird. It would be like, well, I don't know, right? Because I was going to say it would be like wearing a yarmulke if you didn't believe in, like, Judaism, but usually, regardless, like, wouldn't you wear a yarmulke at, like, a typical Jewish wedding, regardless of your faith?
Yeah, if you're getting married at a Jewish ceremony to a
Yeah.
Jewish person, you're generally expected, I think, to wear.
Yeah, it's
Wear that.
even if you're a Gentile, it's polite to...
So maybe it's similar.
But there's a difference between wearing it at a service...
And
because
wearing
that-
it all the time.
Right. Oh, I mean, they sort of implied she had maybe suggested it to try to make it seem okay. I don't know. I think
Oh, I
they
don't
just
know.
wanted to put Rom in a giant earring
Oh,
for
yeah,
a visual
because it's
gag.
a
Well, and
gag.
again, sitcom.
Yep.
Like you
Mhm.
said, Ames.
Well, it could also just be like, he wants to be supportive of her culture and being a fairly naive person that he is. He's like, oh, Bajorans like these funky earrings. I'll wear one.
Yeah, it's like he wants to be supportive of their culture without actually understanding their culture or making any effort to do so. Fuck you, Rom.
I mean, technically, he
is
works for
putting
the
it-
Bajorans, so
Say again?
he works for the Bajorans, right? He's one of the. He's part of the
Yeah.
Bajoran maintenance crew.
Well, and he was actually studying up on the prophecies and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
So, I mean,
true.
he has been reading whatever the equivalent of the Bajoran holy texts are.
That's true.
So, I mean, he is putting in some real effort until, again, Starfleet fucks with his head. The one race it's okay to be racist against in the Federation.
Oh, but
No, I
also,
mean,
They're
wait.
racist against everybody.
Yeah, I
But
was gonna
wait, we
say-
have another great racist line at the. I wrote this one down because I was like, "Oh dear God, what?" Is when Zek has mental deficiencies occurring, and I think Quark says, we could ask, the Vulcans have great medicine. And the line that Zek says made me vomit in my mouth. He says, Vulcans, never liked them. They have no appreciation of profit, but they do make good doctors. And I said, oh, God damn it, Zek. I hate you.
Yeah, you're right. That is a little... I hadn't even thought about
Yeah, I
it,
hadn't
but you're
considered
right.
that, but yeah.
Oof.
So that's going to be the hand wave explanation for why he will never have dementia again. He went and saw the Vulcans.
Possibly. Yeah, I
You
just thought the
think
whole
if
thing was gross.
Oh god, now I'm trying to picture, like, if a Vulcan and a Ferengi had a kid.
Big pointy ears?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where would the eyebrows be? Because
Oh god!
Ferengi don't have eyebrows.
That face.
They're on the lobes.
They just
the
come
whole
out-
lobe has an eyebrow.
No, they just come out and the whole head is just like an MC Escher drawing.
Oh no.
It just doesn't make any sense.
The thing I did think was funny, other than the Marauder Joe action figures, we get a side story of how Martok has been he threw someone off the promenade, and they're like,
yes.
oh yeah, but they're okay. Oh, they almost hit this person. Yeah, but he didn't. That's funny. That's
Yeah.
a good joke.
Yes.
Yeah, but did you die? That guy.
It's
I like that.
It's like Martok says in the next episode. It's like, the human obsession with what could have happened.
Yeah.
As always, though, if nothing else.
We got some great Brunt acting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly, yes,
Yep,
Jeffrey
that was-
Combs.
that was my next note,
grunting his way through everything.
I loved him on the throne. It was great.
Oh, yeah. He would be a terrible Nagus.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it would really not work with the way he usually introduces himself.
Yeah. Brunt.
He might,
Grand Nagus.
for a Ferengi, he might actually be a good Nagus.
Is there such
For
a
someone-
thing as a good name?
Well, that's the thing. I think a good Nagus, someone who's doing the job of Nagus good, would be someone who was objectively bad.
But see, the way
only
they,
a bad person could be a good Nagus.
they point out the problem with him as Nagus is that the Nagus's greed has to be everyone's greed. There's this weird, I suppose the one sort of, how do I put it? The kind of sacrifice, quote unquote, to be a good Nagus is to sometimes, on rare occasion, consider other people.
Definitely not Brunt's forte.
And that's not something Brunt could do.
P.S. This just popped into my head. Like a good Nagus, Brunt FCA is there.
But yeah, when he propped himself on the throne and was picturing his future, that was great.
It's funny though. I can see Wei-Yun in him now because I feel like I know Wei-Yun better. I know Wei-Yun as well as I know Brunt, and now I see them in the acting. I think
He also, I know this is gonna sound weird, but he has some he moves his bottom lip in a very distinctive way sometimes that you can see across all of his characters.
Well, I'll
it's
have
hard
to
to
keep an eye out.
explain. Especially when his character is annoyed, so you see it a lot with Brunt and Shran.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he's also Shran. I look forward to that.
Mm-hmm. I am somewhat pleased. I mean, for all that the dementia thing was handled very poorly, the
And it
idea
was.
of Moogie secretly basically running the government, because it kind of jives with how I had wanted her first appearance to go, kind of. Where I said, I wanted them to realize they couldn't sort of do what they wanted, because if they did, the Ferenginar economy would have collapsed.
Oh, right. I remember that, yeah.
I wanted that to be the thing. It's no, you don't understand. Her investments are, if we take this away, everything So this was kind of that, almost, in a different manner, in that she was, again, keeping everything functioning.
I think one piece of this episode that irked me is sort of
How do you get in the closet?
Yes.
Teleporter.
Oh, there was that. Yeah, they made a sound at one point that there was a transporter, I think.
Oh, did they? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Well, that's how Brunt got in the closet. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, the other ones were just hiding in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quark showed up.
Sorry to cut you off, Jake.
No, I was going to say that it makes the universe smaller, that Moogie and Zek got together and it wasn't a setup.
Yeah.
Or, as a result of Quark knowing the Nagus. The Nagus was like,
Right. The
you
two
know,
people who
I
know
want to find
Quark.
out more about this female, and he, you know, the fact that they just happened to meet by chance.
So
pretty
she
much.
said that they met because she was doing the female division for Tongo,
Yep.
which I'm surprised exists.
Yeah, that was a shock.
Like, I expected her to be there, like, because she was, like, serving community service or something and had to be there serving drinks.
Yeah.
Naked.
Ugh.
Well, she probably did have to be naked.
Yeah, that's true. I can't imagine. If you're in the female Tongo league, you like that's bad enough, but you also can't wear clothes.
Well, actually, I mean, I almost think that being in the league would be smiled upon, but only if you're wearing the uniform, which is nudity.
Right, and I'm sure, like, they're not playing for profit, because females can't make profit. They
Right.
must just be playing for fun.
Or for cookies.
Cookies,
Something.
I'd take that.
Maybe it's
Or
like
playing for your husband.
I was about to say. I feel like maybe it's
Oh,
a thing
yeah.
that started because like husbands were going and didn't trust leaving their wives alone at home, so they started shoving them in the basement and making them play.
Or like here's a hot take. Maybe the foundations of Ferengi society are not as solid as we're led to believe, and
They just keep it secret.
yeah, like maybe there's a lot of men that are bad at earning profit. It sounded like Quark's dad wasn't very good at it.
Not at all.
So
we
maybe
know Rom isn't.
if you're a Ferengi man and you can't, you know, get it up, and by get it up I mean your bank account balance.
Nice.
Maybe you know you have your wife go out and do the profit making activities, but it's all kind of kept under the radar, you know. Oh, you're in the basement playing the female Tongo game.
Wink, wink. And yeah, actually, you know what would really work with that as an idea is because she starts sending notes up to the Nagus about how to improve his game.
Mm-hmm.
So that apparently sending notes up to the male tournament is perfectly normal.
Yeah.
So maybe a lot of the women are there to play the game for their husbands who are bad at it.
And that also kind of makes the, you know, Brunt's whole thing make a lot more sense, because if it's just like keeping this one woman down, it's a little weird that he's just so fucking obsessed with it. But if it's like trying to cover up this like societal flaw that, you know, would cause the entire Ferengi alliance to just collapse if the truth ever came out.
This thing we all sort of know but don't talk about, like she would force you to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, most females are content to just, you know, wear the no clothes and, you know, earn profit in secret. But here we go. Here's Ishkar, whatever her last name is, out there, you know, flaunting it around, wearing clothes, making big bucks, telling men publicly how to earn more profit.
That makes a lot of sense. Actually,
It's disgusting,
I like
is what it is.
It
It's
is.
just
I wish it were something that they kind of explored more instead of like doing a lot of just silly goddamn bullshit. Because there is a lot that could be interesting in Ferengi society, but they have to couch it in their fucking cartoon characters because we're stuck with it because this is how we made them.
And I also just think that the fact that we're led to believe that it's really only like there's 2 female women I think that we've even seen.
Female Ferengi.
Ferengi women?
Yes, yeah. What did I say? Female women.
Female women.
We've only seen 2 female
Females.
women. No, we've only seen 2 Ferengi women, and both of them defy the Ferengi model of what a woman should be.
Well, this is because Star Trek couldn't show any other Ferengi women because they'd have to be naked, and they can't do that on television.
They showed the wedding. You know,
They showed some back and some shoulder.
Yeah, it would have been a lot
They'd
of
find
shots
a way.
from the shoulder
They'd
up.
find a way. Anyway,
Life does find a way. After
but
all.
it does kind of leave us with the impression that it's all the other women are just sort of accepting of the society and okay to be subjugated, and it's just, you know, these 2 rogues.
Or they're
we happen to
just,
see.
you know, we're seeing it sort of through the lens of people who interact with Quark.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Or it could just be that, you know, there are just They're less willing to go out on a limb.
Everyone else is much better at hiding it.
Well, plus, I can't imagine being like a hyper-feminist Ferengi and wanting to be anywhere near Quark and his bullshit.
Oh man, what if like Ishkar and Pell knew each other? They were in the same.
Ishka.
What did I say? Ishkar?
Yeah, because Jake's
Ishka.
an Ishkar.
I was gonna say, you're repeating
Ishtar.
Jake.
So what if Moogie?
Is Ishkar a thing? Is that in like another person's name?
Isn't Ishtar a place in something?
Ishtar is an infamously bad movie.
Yeah, okay. I just conflated it in my head.
But yeah, so Moogie and Pell were all part of the same underground feminist book club, and she's the one that pointed Pell towards Quark to try and
Oh, I like that theory. That's a good
try
theory.
and break down her son's rigid exterior.
Yeah,
And get her
also,
some grandchildren.
Yeah, and also maybe you guys like each other. I got a son who's about your age.
I love it.
I like the idea of Moogie just basically running the feminist underground on Ferenginar like Spock ran the unification movement on Romulus. Everyone's
Only
meeting
she's
up
more
in
successful.
much. You know, people meeting in cafes, not finishing soup.
Nope, never.
Or
Soup
not finishing
everywhere.
their grubs or slugs or
Tube
whatever.
worms or gum jellied bullshit. Ferengi cuisine appears to leave a lot to be desired, is all I'm saying.
I mean, not if you're descended from frog people, then it's
Yeah,
perfect.
but guess what?
Yeah.
I'm not
Well, it's not
talking
for you,
about
is
for
it?
me, not about for them.
Well, it's ain't for you. Not everything has to be for you.
Yes, it does.
Honky.
Aww.
Wow.
I bet you the Ferengi tourism industry is garbage.
I wouldn't even think they'd want tourists.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Well,
I think they
you
love
make a
the
lot
idea of
profit
more
from,
money,
like,
but
souvenir shops and stuff.
I
Going
bet
on
they don't
tours.
have my name on any fucking tourist bullshit either.
Oh no, but I'm betting there is like somewhere on Ferenginar there is like a Ferengi theme park though,
Oh god.
and like and
Everything's too
it's,
short.
but it's specifically for aliens to come and like experience the Ferengi, and it's really just a casino.
Is it
Um,
Rapture themed, and is Armin Shimmerman the voice of Andrew Ryan?
There you go. But no, and like you go up to like the concession, and it's not like real tube grubs, but it's like chocolate coated crickets or something, like something that might be acceptable for a human to eat.
I guess the issue sort of
Churros?
becomes like,
Yes.
hey, come to Ferenginar, where it rains literally every day. And
The
we've
fish
got
people would like it.
The
True.
vampires from
The
Twilight
Zora.
would be into
Here
it.
we go. The Zora from Legend of Zelda can join.
there we go, and the handsome fishmen that Worf was so fond of.
Oh, those guys.
They are a very handsome race.
Yeah.
Anyway, so overall, I found this episode like it's a decent look at things Quark does,
Yeah.
because like the nice thing about Ferengi episodes is you usually get Quark on display, and Armin Shimmerman is amazing all the time.
Yeah.
Always.
But overall, for everyone else, it just felt dumb,
Mm.
silly, dumb bullshit.
And it just, like, honestly cemented my dislike of Rom. I was like, fuck you, Rom. I mean, I know that people were being racist pricks, but I don't know. Just stop
God,
it,
even
Rom.
Miles was being well, as usual.
What else
Miles
is
was
new?
being
He's
a
like the
racist.
biggest fucking racist on the ship.
That's
He says
true.
something to the
Station.
effect when they're talking about, oh yeah, profit is better than lust, and then Miles says, lust can be a lot more fun. I'm like, gross, Miles, gross.
Listen, he's got 2 kids. We know he's no monk.
Apologies if there's any bleed. Our neighbors appear to be playing some fairly bass-heavy music.
Oh geez.
Well, at least they're not singing.
I don't know. Rom, to me, though, I don't know. I was just surprised how quickly Lita took him back. Like, that actually, I'm like, You realize he was being a massive piece of shit, right?
Everything
that-
about their relationship is stymieing. It's
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand why she would want to be with him to begin with, so why would I not believe that she would take him back real quick?
Well,
Might I
that
remind-
was that cute half a scene between her and Kira, where Kira is like, yeah, because you're talking about it so much, you obviously care about him. So
Yeah.
it's not surprising that she takes him back, I don't think.
Well, plus, may I remind everyone of Gene Roddenberry's original vision of the Ferengi? They are huge.
Yep, true.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking
Schlong
about?
for days.
Yep,
He talks about that?
he did.
About Ferengi schlong?
In his mind, they were just massive.
Why was he thinking
The
so much
electric
about
whip
Ferengi
is actually their
schlongs?
dick.
Because it's Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, seriously.
But
Yeah, I know.
but
Yeah.
I wonder if it was in Gene's vision for the Klingons to have 2 dicks.
I don't know, but I know that whether there were 1 or 2, he probably thought they were huge as well.
Anyway, speaking of the Klingons having 2 dicks, let's move on.
Brilliant!
I found the segue.
Hooray!
All right, let's talk Soldiers of the Empire, an episode that I thought had more potential than it really cashed in on, because it's a whole episode about how to improve morale in the workplace. I mean, when you come down to it, that's it. So we've got Martok, and he asks Worf to join the crew of the Rotaran?
The Rotaran.
Rotaran. I have it written down. I forgot how it was said. The Rotaran, which Martok is going to be leading on a search and rescue mission of the missing Klingon ship, the Bemoth. And I ask almost immediately, why are we rescuing people who find it dishonorable not to have died in battle? Who the fuck knows? But that's okay, we're going to do it anyway. We meet our new Jerkstore friends, the crew of the Rotaran, Lesket, Koronan, Orticon, and Tavana. But also, Jadzia has joined the crew, because even though Deep Space Nine is in the middle of war with the Dominion and shorthanded, evidently, question marks, she feels like coming along. She's bored or something, wants to hang out with her boyf. Just accept it.
Well,
Jadzia's here.
Cisco's fine with it, so...
I know, right?
She also says that she's taking leave to do it. So
It's-
she used her vacation time.
But you
Well,
would think
we
that
may
she
get
wouldn't
into
have
this.
any right now. You would think active war means no vacation time.
Look,
I
use
would-
it or
Yeah.
lose it. Doesn't matter if there's a war happening.
But anyway, Jadzia is actually one of the better things in this episode because she
Truth.
quips and kicks ass, and I can get behind everything she does in this episode.
Well, and also because, as usual, she's like a way better fucking Klingon than...
anyone,
Worf.
any of the other Klingons.
Also that, yes.
Jadzia with Klingons is pretty much
Best
always
Jadzia.
a good mix.
Yeah. And Terry Farrell is at the point where she's like bringing it, so
Yeah.
I was a fan of her this episode. Everyone else on the Rotaran, however, is a fucking failure. They're in need of a win so bad, but Martok is scared of the Jem'Hadar because he's been in prison for 2 years and doesn't want to get in a battle right now because what if they lose? And he'd feel like crap about it. So the whole ship is teeming with volatile emotions, ready to blow up at any fucking moment. They sing the song 15 times. We finally, after a bunch of flying around and everyone getting pissed off at Martok, we find the Bemoth. And Martok asks the same question that I asked at the very top of the episode, which was, wait, why are we rescuing them? This could be a trap. And he gets cold feet and says, let's not bother, let's go home. The whole ship, however, is fucking ready to mutiny. So Worf challenges Martok to a fist fight. And they fight for a while, and then Worf just totally lets Martok stab him a little.
Yep.
So he can feel good about himself or something. And they ride the rest of the adrenaline wave. They take out some Jem'Hadar because it totally was a fucking trap. Idiots. They rescue the Bemoth through. Worf is entered into the house of Martok, which was very, very sweet.
That's true.
That was nice.
And then we get back to the station, and tonight we're gonna party like it's the year of KLS 999, which it actually is. Kapla!
Yes. That's good. I was just thinking, I was just checking on something. I was like, they really missed a trick by not calling this episode how Martok got his groove back. But this predates that movie, so.
Shame.
Also, I feel I think it was the last episode. No, yes, the last episode. Okay, I wrote this down. Didn't bring it up. In Ferengi love songs, the working title was "How Quark Acquired His Groove Back."
Wait, but this also. Oh, was it a book before it was a movie?
I have no idea.
Or was getting your groove back just always a saying and we didn't know it?
Oh, that
Maybe.
sounds likely, actually.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. The other title that they changed, at the very, very last second, was "Of Love and Profit," which just blends in with all the other Ferengi titles, and I can't tell them apart.
I was gonna say, wasn't there already an episode called that? But it was probably just close.
It was a word off.
Oh, and actually, we got 3 rules of acquisition.
We did.
So many.
You have some for future weeks. Also, having just checked, yes, it was based off a book, which was apparently a huge hit in 1996, right about when these episodes would have been getting written.
Yeah, there
It
you
all
go.
There
works
you
out.
go.
So it probably was intentional with the Quark thing, and they should have used it for this one.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I actually like this show.
I was underwhelmed. Even just reading the synopsis, I was like, why is this Star Trek?
Well, I
Because
think
the
I think
Klingons.
that's the thing. I think the plot of it is more about Martok and Worf than it really is about rescuing the rescuing the Bemoth.
The only thing that's weird about it is that you're right, Jake. It's about them, but it's bizarrely shown more through the eyes of Jadzia and the rest of the crew,
That's true. Yeah, we don't
which is
see
an interesting
Martok
choice.
much.
Well,
Yeah,
because
no.
again, as we were saying, Jadzia was the best Klingon on that ship.
True.
Oh yeah,
True.
I loved her little
Uh,
power play move when she threw someone out of a chair and said,
Yep.
"I sit in that chair now, bitch.
Yep.
If you're nice, I'll share my blood wine."
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing this episode made me realize is that Starfleet has missed a trick in not reviving sea shanties.
Hmm.
Because it's like, man, more ships need to just have people singing as they float into. Like,
My
imagine.
Do,
Yeah, we
do you
don't
know
see-
where the song came from?
No, what is
Ooh,
it?
tell us.
The song came from Star Trek Klingon, which was an interactive CD-ROM game.
Really?
Oh, I think I had that. Did that? I think that had like full motion video. I think that was like one of those full motion video games.
Oh, cool. We should play it, or at least find someone online playing it.
Actually,
Maybe Mr. Sunday Movie plays it or something.
you know, I think I have to look for it because I think I saved it in my like watch later. Someone took all the FMVs from a couple of mid '90s Star Trek PC games
What's an FMV?
full motion video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where like a video game just has
Like a cutscene?
like a cutscene, but it's not. But it's filmed with like humans. It's like it's not like an animated cutscene like
Yeah,
you see
it's like
today. It's like
A movie clip.
yeah,
Oh,
you would
weird.
have actors and like I remember there was a game called Klingon Academy. I think that even had
Christopher Plummer.
yeah, it
Ooh.
was Christopher Plummer did one. I think Robert O'Reilly might have done one.
Well, and it's like that's the one that has Plummer is used in this video I'm thinking of, and it actually like it's a prequel to six. Well, it has to be a prequel to 6, but he actually starts it off with 2 eyes, and you see him lose the other one.
Ooh, neat.
But yeah, they stitched all these FMVs together into a movie, quote unquote, which was on YouTube. I don't know if it still is. I'll
Ooh,
look
we should
for
find it.
We
It was
should find
very
it
long.
and 10 forward that sucker.
I wonder if it stands up.
Probably
not.
Yeah, those
But I
things-
still
like,
want to
this is
do it.
This is from the time when video games, you know, they had money to do things like full motion video, but they didn't have money to hire good writers.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
know
also
Star
most-
Trek Klingon had J.G. Hertzler.
Purlitzer. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce
Yeah.
it either. But
Yeah, and I think Michael Dorn was in it. It was directed by Frakes.
oh, weird. Oh, that reminds me. These week's episodes were last week. Ferengi Love Songs was Renee Auberjonois, and this is LeVar Burton.
It is.
Oh, good for LeVar. He's all up in there, huh?
Yep.
I feel like he's directed a lot of episodes for Deep Space Nine, hasn't
He
he?
I
has,
think
yeah.
so. I think he does a decent
been
amount for
busy.
Voyager too.
That's cool. Who knew?
Yeah, I mean, I think this episode, it's one of those, like, let's look at Klingon culture ones, and it's also, like, I think one of the first times we've really seen the sad sacks of the Klingon Empire.
Yeah,
Like, these
It's
guys
interesting.
all just kind of suck.
They do.
Yeah, and it's like a ship of misfits. They
Yeah.
have no victories in
No.
their record.
So why did they give a bit of a shitty ship of assholes to Martok? Like that's my.
I feel like
that
this
was
is
the thing that threw me off.
Being being a prick.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
We love Martok.
because he doesn't like soldiers who get captured.
Yeah, that's right.
He prefers
Wow.
he prefers war heroes that don't become prisoners of war.
I mean, good.
Just even assigning Martok to desk duty at Deep Space Nine was probably meant as an insult.
Although, Martok himself seems to see it as a...
Well, yeah, but that's because Martok is a house cat now.
Yeah, because he's afraid.
He doesn't want battle. He's like, oh, I want to sit behind my desk and
He's supposed to retire in 2 weeks.
But I wouldn't be surprised if, like, back on the home world, people are like, oh, it's the general, he survived 2 years in captivity and this and that, and people are talking about how cool he is on Kronos, so Gowron's like, I have to fuck with him.
I don't know. One of the crew members of the Rotaran says like they call him like the one-eyed giant or something, and it sounds like it's meant to be an insult.
Yeah.
He seems like he's kind of a joke.
Sounds
Yeah.
like
Klingons.
to me it sounds like he's hung. The one-eyed giant. Damn.
Gross.
I think the dude's hung like a Ferengi.
Well, except he's Klingon, though, so...
They live in a fucking culture where you might be able to say hung like a Ferengi and it's a good thing. That's awful.
Mm.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Quick, someone write into Lower Decks. That feels like a line they'd use.
There was a very sad moment where I think someone said something to the point of, "Oh, Martok left more than one eye behind in that prison camp," and I said, "Oh no, was it one of his dicks?"
No.
Actually, it was his second asshole.
Jesus Christ.
So we actually start the
His
episode
second
with
asshole.
Julian treating Martok for having gotten a little cutty on his arm. And he says, you wouldn't have these problems if you just let me put in, insert an artificial eye. It would make you a better warrior if you had depth perception. Why do you not want this? He says, no, I don't want it. It's better to have the scar.
That does feel very Klingon, though. Like, you overcome your limitation rather than... Because, I mean, again, General Chang wore an eye patch.
Yeah, a badass eye patch.
True,
Yeah.
which was riveted directly into his skull.
But he was
Klingon.
also, he was a shit Klingon, though.
It turned out, yes.
He was a fucking Romulan in disguise, practically.
Ooh.
Practically, yes. But I'm just saying, in general, I feel like it makes sense that Klingons would be against repair through artificial means.
I don't know. Worf's got an all new spine.
That's
But it also
true.
made me joke at the end when Martok asks Worf, how did you know I wouldn't just kill you? And I thought to myself, because it was on your blind side, you couldn't see what you were doing. You stabbed me on that side with the bad eye. I knew I'd be fine.
I do like that, God damn it, we're both gonna, we're all
Martok.
gonna do that. Martok was covering for Worf. He's like, oh yeah, no, I was in the holosuites with the safeties turned off. It's like, no, he was training with Worf, and Worf got him.
Why hide that?
I'm sure
Dishonor.
Worf has been told to not...
Yeah.
Try to kill people
Don't
anymore?
maim foreign dignitaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop killing your brother. Stop maiming God damn it, I did the same thing. Martok.
Sisko's just in his office like, I don't get this Klingon shit.
Yeah. But I also can see, going back to the whole why Martok might be not in good standing among Klingons, that being taken prisoner
Yeah.
is probably perceived as fairly dishonorable.
That's true. He probably should have died rather than get taken
Yeah.
by
If you-
But
their
does escaping
logic.
make up for that?
Depends on how many
Yeah.
enemies you kill in the process.
Well, he
Oh,
killed a
no.
lot, right? Because they kept making him fight, right? So
He didn't
That's
kill
true.
them, I don't think, though, did he?
Well, Worf killed a few.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
shit.
he must have gotten at least some.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Worf killed a lot. So many.
Yeah, and speaking of dishonor, you mentioned during the synopsis that you were surprised that they would even bother rescuing.
Yeah. I was
Uh,
thrown off this whole episode because I didn't understand what was the point.
Well, so I would take it to be that, yes, it is honorable to die in battle, but if your ship is disabled and you're just going to die because the air is going to run out or,
Yeah.
or whatever, you're going to freeze to death, like that doesn't seem very honorable to me. So
Yeah.
like, I feel like
that's a
getting
consequence of the battle. It's still dying in battle.
No, but then it's just a waste. Like if you can, it's great to die in battle, but if you can't, the better than dying in battle is surviving the battle so that you can die in a different battle.
But why would other Klingons say, yes, we should save these people who failed?
Well, they didn't fail.
They're dead in the water in space. They
But
did.
that just
their
means that
ship-
their
win a
ship
battle.
failed, not them.
Their ship failed, so
That's the
we'll
same
get them.
thing. They are their
We'll
ship.
put them on another ship, and then they can die. Today will be a good day to die. Every day is a good day to die.
Yeah. I think also what you could
Listen,
say
Ames,
is
it's in the handbook. They
Oh,
get a
okay.
mulligan. They get a mulligan.
again, we're also thinking mostly of Klingon society viewed via Worf,
Yeah.
which
fair.
is very strict. And I'm sure at the end of the day, the Klingons, yes, you have your honor and your belief structure and this, that, and the other thing, but also don't waste resources. And people are resources, especially because it sounds like the war against the Cardassians did not go well. So it's like we
No, it
need
went
every...
great. The Cardassians got their asses handed to them. That's why they allied with the Dominion.
Yeah, so it went okay until they teamed up with the Dominion.
All right, true.
Now it ain't going so hot.
Now things are going poorly. You're not gonna you're gonna grab every warrior you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
feel
are the
like
people of the
leaving
B'Eloth-
Klingon warriors to die in the cold of space
Is itself dishonorable.
is dishonorable thing to do. So not rescue. So it's not
maybe.
so much preserving the honor of the warriors on the B'Eloth.
Even though they're little bitches now, because we had
they're
to
little
save their
bitches.
ass.
They're going to be reassigned to like, you know, work in the kitchens or whatever. They've shown they're not good at battle, so they're just going to do like the desk
Well,
jobs.
so has everyone on the Rotaran. We basically said, like,
was
you
gonna say,
failed every fucking
They're
challenge.
such
thing, though, they've
bitches that
never
they're
won a
being
battle,
rescued by a ship full of bitches.
But here's the thing though, the Rotaran it's never won a battle, but apparently it's also never lost a battle because
Wait, what?
Well, I mean,
I missed this.
it's still intact.
True.
Like,
It gets away.
How bad could the battles have been if
Listen,
they never?
Tavana is that good an engineer. I liked Tavana a lot.
She's great.
I liked her. She was good.
She was great.
We talk about scale inconsistency a lot, but there is nothing more inconsistent than the scale of the Klingon bird of prey.
True.
This one is enormous. Whereas,
Yeah.
you know, usually, or not usually, but previously we've been led to believe they're so small they can be run by about 12 people and fit in a park in San Francisco.
I mean, that's less than 12. Like, how many people were actually on the Bounty? There was like
That's
6.
Yeah. Spock was out of his mind.
I remember when I was a kid, I had like the micro machines,
Mhm.
and apparently the ideal crew size for that particular version of the bird of prey is 12.
Ants.
You can obviously again run it with less, as they proved.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe they just scaled up the designs.
Well, that's like clearly there must be just all sorts of different types of birds of prey that are all just the same exact design at different sizes. I mean, that's what it has to be because again, like this one is fucking huge when you consider, you know, the size of a Galaxy class when compared to DS9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's
Yeah.
a video on YouTube that kind of like does the zooming out thing and shows all the different ships and things and stuff in Star Trek as compared to each other, which is really helpful. Although I'm sure in the show itself, it's not at all consistent.
No. I mean, I think even like, you know, the bird of prey, and I think the Oberth also is anywhere from tiny to actually kind of big, depending on what day it is.
Yeah, but I would say my impression of the bird of prey is that it's small-ish.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a scout.
Yeah, it's a scout, you know, it's like, or like it's on par with the Defiant,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. And even then, she's a pretty good sized ship. Just
Yeah.
very long as opposed to very tall.
Hmm. Speaking of various aesthetics, what did you think of Worf's Klingon outfit?
It didn't look that unusual
I
to
don't
me.
know,
It looked
there
just
was
like the
something-
same Klingon outfit he always wears. Although I
Yeah.
will say, it looked like when you brought it up while we were watching,
Yeah.
it did kind of look like the Spirit Halloween version of
Yeah,
the Klingon
it looked a
warrior
little
outfit.
cheaper. His collar in the early scenes wasn't as flush as it should have been, but they eventually fixed it. The one thing I noticed was, I'm not sure, maybe I just missed them previously, but at the edge of the shoulders, he had these weird little, like, mooring things.
Oh,
Like they look like the mooring things you have on docks. They just kind of stuck up and spread out.
Oh,
and again,
funny.
That's
maybe
to
they've
hang,
always
like,
been there.
Hang ribbons and epaulets off of.
Yeah.
see, my comment was it looks like Worf is about to go parachuting because the material was weird. It looked like the kind of stuff you make windbreakers out
Yeah,
of.
it looked
Yeah.
to me. Well, to me, it looked kind of like vinyl. It probably the costume probably was vinyl.
Yeah, but it normally doesn't look quite so.
Yeah, that's why I said Spirit Halloween. Like it,
Yeah.
it usually looks like it's like maybe leather and mail.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it
this-
definitely looked cheaper this time
Yeah.
for some reason.
Which is strange. I'd be interested to compare because he wore a similar uniform in
Emissary? Or The Emissary?
what?
What did he wear
No.
in The Emissary that was hot? Because that was a great outfit.
Yeah, actually, he did wear something quite similar. Right down, I think he basically seemed to be wearing Christopher Lloyd's costume from 3, because it even had the, like, overcoat.
What are you referring to, though, Jake?
In
the time he fought in the Civil War.
Yeah, like I blanking on the two-parter.
Yeah.
Way of the
TNG.
Warrior.
No.
Oh, TNG. Reunion? Redemption?
Redemption. Yeah, because when he
Jesus,
went
Ames,
on
you got a good memory, girl.
Occasionally.
detached service, there he was wearing.
Ask me recent titles
Klingon
and they're
uniform.
gone. Old titles.
It's almost like they mislaid his better one, and they're like, shit, we only have this stunt one left over.
Yeah.
Shit, we only have this $15 gift card to Spirit Halloween. Guess it'll have to do.
Yeah, I remember thinking that it did kind of look weirdly lower quality. Like, that's something that's supposed to be on an extra you don't get a good look at, not on one of your principals.
Yeah, and I felt the rest of the crew, their costumes looked a little bit more high quality.
Well, they were also in, like, the
Darker
lighting
light.
on the Bird of Prey is
Unsaturated.
Mm.
Yeah. So I feel like we got a better look at Worf's outfit because we see him on DS9 wearing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would actually believe that maybe that what Chris said is actually the truth, and that they couldn't find the uniform that was fitted to Michael Dorn, or maybe they recut that uniform for another actor at some point.
That does happen a lot.
It turns out that we just took Worf's uniform and turned it into Martok's uniform or something.
Yeah.
But oh shit, now we need a uniform for Worf. Well, we have some in the extras pile that would fit Dorn, so stuff him in that.
Yeah. Another Klingon that missed his calling there. Not Orthanc. What was his name?
Oh god, I couldn't tell most of them apart. There was Ordokan, Kornan, and Leskit.
Was Ordokan the one that was the
Being
sort
a
of
really
youngish
surly asshole.
one that was fucking the engineer?
Maybe. I know Leskit was the one that got drunk.
Yeah, the older one.
Oh, that was the old guy.
That was really, really bitchy, which I actually liked him the best. Because, like, every order he was questioning it. Like, forgive my tired ears. Could you repeat that order?
But are you asking me to be a little bitch?
But yeah, the relatively young one. The one that actually handed the
the ship's log or whatever.
over to Worf. Because at one point he goes off on this semi-poetic rant, and it's like, more Klingons just go to eschew the warrior thing, just go straight to poetry. It's in their blood.
Yeah, he was definitely like the emo kid of the crew.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there was some really great talk about, like, the differences between Klingons and the Jem'Hadar, because the Jem'Hadar, they fight because they're told to by the founders and Weyun, usually. One of the Weyuns. Whilst Klingons do it because they want to, because they're seeking glory, because it's part of who they are individually. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It was a nice speech. But I also really loved, there was a description of Cardassian tactics that one of them gave. Like, man, we were fighting Cardassians, and even though we were mowing them down, they're such pains in the ass because they have all these schemes and all these extra layers of bullshit you have to get through. And I'm like, that's my man. That's my man Ducat right there.
Schemes within things, all the games.
Well, it also just goes to show that, like, the Klingons are kind of a blunt instrument. They're just,
which is not a surprise.
Which not a surprise.
Remember Klingon CSI? It was a bomb or whatever.
Yeah. So like, the fact that they would be stymied by, someone using actual tactics in a battle, when it's just like, but we shot them more. How could we lose?
We Leroy Jenkins to that shit.
Yes.
Oh, that is an amazing description of the Klingons.
Yeah, so I wrote down that the original story of this episode was basically Ira Steven Bear goes up to Ronald D. Moore, who's basically the guy who does most of the Klingon episodes, and says, I want you to do a story for this season that's like all Klingons. Like, you don't even need other characters, just nothing but Klingons. You can have Jadzia too. And he wrote up this story in which they somehow end up on this mythic journey, and they go to Greythor, which is Klingon hell, and they find an old friend of Martok, and they find Moog, and they want to bring him back with them. And it sounded way too fucking complicated and fantasy-like that they were like, Ronnie, scale it back.
And yet,
You stop
for
that.
some reason, they dug that script up and did it on Voyager instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I kind of remember that episode.
they visit the Klingon
They do.
underworld in Voyager.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I remember that
God.
episode.
No.
I am not gonna lie, even though it wouldn't have made any fucking sense, I almost wish we'd gotten this version of that episode. Just because, why the fuck not? Wow.
I don't know. I feel like you can't. I feel like there are ways you can kind of splice in fantasy with sci-fi. Bev fucked a ghost. That kind of stuff. That works in times where it's like, what the fuck are you... So hell is a real place now. The paw wraiths live in hell. Moog lives in hell. You can just visit hell on the weekend. God fucking damn it, Star Trek.
Well, we already know that, the devil is real from TAS. And just lives in another dimension.
Nope, not canon. Fuck this.
Well, if you don't like canon, I mean, if you don't like the TAS, we still have Ardra, right? Like, she
was a
Satan.
fake. That was the point.
Yeah, an alien that pretends to be the devil.
Yeah, and the god of Shakari and all these fucking jerks.
And Apollo.
God damn Apollo. God damn it. That's the funny thing, because, on shit posting, people go off on canon and all this thing. And every so often someone will remind you, like, yeah, but, like, Apollo was real.
Yeah.
So get off your high horse, asshole.
Yeah, that's what I always... It's like...
We visited Abe Lincoln in space.
Yeah, like, whenever people get too precious about Star Trek, it's like, guys, TOS exists.
Well, that's the thing, though. A lot of, like, these gatekeepery types try to deny that TOS counts.
Oh, I mean, you can say it doesn't count, but it doesn't change the fact that it
used
exists.
to say... Yeah, Roddenberry used to say TOS and TNG weren't in the same universe.
Yeah, he actually... I remember seeing a video once that argued that he even sort of considered TMP even kind of a soft reboot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much every time he did a new project, as far as he was concerned, if you wanted to say previous stuff didn't count, that was fine.
Well, I also think that, like, I don't know, maybe I wasn't around and conscious at that time, but I'm also guessing that, like, in the 80s, maybe the whole idea of a canon and a continuity wasn't as much of a thing.
Well,
No, I
back
think
then
that...
you could do things like you do with Bond, and just every fucking movie is a different person, and in different shows you can just replace your leads and no one cares.
Yeah. I think very much the rise of the obsession with canon is probably directly tied to the rise of the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like,
that's a good
before, because before that it was like, I'm sure the people who went out of their way to actually make and subscribe to and read zines cared.
Mm.
But once everyone had access to that level of nerdery, once we had, home video re-releases, and nowadays where you can binge the entire thing in a month if you
You
really
can go
put
through
your
it
mind
frame
to it.
by frame.
Yeah, like
And be like, oh my god, that I saw that prop on an episode of General Hospital, so these
Yeah.
must be in the same universe.
Yep,
you know?
yep. So I mean, like, no, there's definitely a correlation there. People didn't care as much once upon a time.
Yeah, and I agree. I bet you there are, people that did care about it. And I think that the rise of the internet, and especially, I think that creators have really embraced it because there's like a gamification aspect
Yeah.
that people just now expect there to always be continuity and for
Yeah.
canon to be a thing.
Now,
Yeah.
having said that, because someone might point this out if I don't, these sorts of people have always existed, at least in the niche.
Right. They just couldn't find other people like them.
Yeah.
Because even as far back as the late 19th century, you had people... Because if there was one person who didn't worry that much about continuity, it was Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to talk about Arthur Conan Doyle? Because, yeah.
But he had fans who were trying to reconcile his contradictions from very early in his career. But again, like I said, that was a niche thing. Like I said, like the zine people, again, I'm sure really cared in the 80s. But it was just like this group of people who cared intensely. But once that ease of access grew, more people were able to care.
And I agree. I think there's a fun aspect to thinking about it.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, I wonder if it, like, I've been playing Breath of the Wild.
Yay.
And I also, like, I recently played almost all of the Zelda games.
The ones that you have.
Yeah, almost all of them. I skipped Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, just because I didn't like it when I was a kid, and I didn't care for it when I tried to play it now. But anyway, point is, in the last 6 months or so, I've pretty much played every Zelda game, except for some of the handheld games. And even me playing Breath of the Wild's like, oh my god, the
stables,
the ancient tech. It must be from the Twilight Realm. Oh, that makes so much sense. Oh,
What's
it's very funny.
too.
I haven't read it, but I saw, because every so often when Jake gets fully stumped by a thing, I'll open up one of the websites, and I had like zeldadungeon.net open.
Oh, that's one of the big ones.
Yeah, and there was like at the very top of the page, because it updates every freaking day, there was like an article that's like, do people actually want to place Breath of the Wild in the timeline versus do you not? Because people really, really want to do this shit, because they love to overthink nerd bullshit, to be like, oh, well, if this happened 10,000 years ago that this tech existed, then we can say definitively that Breath of the Wild happens here in the timeline, and that's why we know that Midna was over here, and this other character was over here, and
Well, that's the thing.
Sidon and Link totally banged, and all this stuff. And other people are like, dude, it doesn't help. We don't need this. We don't need this.
Yeah, I've come across these Zelda timeline fanatics, and they can get really intense. And what's really funny is, like, Jake, I think you were saying, like, one thing that's really changed in recent years is now even creators and showrunners kind of care. Partly because they were the people who grew up with the internet and were part of this whole game. But if one group does not actually give a fuck, it's Nintendo. So, like,
oh yeah.
In a way, like, I think with Breath of the Wild, they almost purposely put in contradictory shit just to drive people crazy.
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
Like,
they're
they put out
their fans, and it's great.
They very begrudgingly put out an official timeline some years ago, but even admitted we might change it someday. Double
But also,
bird.
like the Zelda series in particular is the most ridiculous one to look for continuity,
Oh yeah,
because every game just like invents new shit.
yeah.
You know, it's just like, yeah, no, this is a thing now. All that other crap that doesn't count. But then I noticed in Breath of the Wild they did some shit that was very like referential to past games in the series. Like,
Yep.
in one of Link's recovered memories, the sword makes the noise that Fi makes in Skyward Sword, which is, you know, Fi being the robot that lives inside the Master Sword.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
There's,
Game's like 10
there's
years old
robots
now.
in Zelda now?
So many robots.
Really? Man.
Have you seen any Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, but
Those big walkie things are basically
No, there's
robots.
tons of robots.
are
Yeah.
they?
There was robots in Skyward Sword too.
Huh.
Yeah, so and then like so they do stuff like that. There's one of the Zora things is like, oh, the
That's right, Ruta.
yeah, Van Ruta, the
Elephant.
divine beast is specifically named after Ruto,
Yep.
the Link's girlfriend.
The girl who wanted to plow Link like crazy.
Well, and that's the thing is they reference all these things, like a lot of stuff from the series history. But at some point the timeline splits, and that's what's driving fans crazy. The things they're referencing shouldn't be able to coexist.
Anyway,
It's
but
hilarious.
It's fun to think about, but it's also
It's Parallels, which
ridiculous
also
to take too
featured
seriously.
Worf. And
Yes.
this episode also featured Worf. Hey!
I mean,
Hey.
getting back to tying back into Star Trek, it's fun to think about, but it's dangerous to shackle yourself to.
yeah.
People
I
do
really
love
think
dying
it-
on hills.
Oh God, they do.
Well, it's
Any
also
hill
like,
is
well, now
any
we
hill
have,
is a good hill to die on.
I mean, now we have Lower Decks, which is a kooky cartoon show. And is that canon? I don't
No.
know.
People say it is.
But at the same time, who gives a fuck?
Lower
Yeah.
decks, lower expectations. Am I right?
Ah!
People fucking love it.
I haven't actually seen it. I'm just being contrary.
I was calling it Star Trek Lowered Bar.
You were calling it Star Trek Upper
Brilliant.
Decker for a while.
Nice.
I don't get it.
It's when you shit in the tank
In
of
the
a
tank
toilet.
of the toilet.
Oh, gross.
But
but also, I approve.
Star Trek Waffle Stomp.
waffle
Damn it, if
stomp.
only I'd come up with that the other night. I'm so mad.
I don't know.
Jake just
Waffle
loves the
stomp is the
concept.
funniest thing in my opinion. Oh, I
So
love it.
one thing I thought with this episode where they were dividing up Worf and Jadzia's duties among the remaining
Duties.
staff.
Duty.
God
You
damn it.
can't say the word duties after
We were just talking
someone's
about waffle
stomps
stomps.
and upper deckers.
Trying to divide Worf's tasks among the rest of them, and for some reason they decided let's make Julian the intelligence officer.
I got so angry. I got so fucking angry at that scene because it just shows you there are no other Starfleet people around, even though we are at fucking war with the Dominion. And the
Yeah.
only people with whom you can give tasks to on Deep Space Nine are Bashir and O'Brien.
Why is I did it again.
Bashir.
Why is Bashir's security clearance so high?
I don't know.
Like, the issue they said was that it had to be someone with this level
I mean,
clearance.
he is 30.
True.
Old fucker.
But I was
oh,
like-
that's what it is, because I know we won't remember it, right? It's
And at first I was like,
No, that's
shouldn't
the
he have
Vegas.
shouldn't he
Here's
have
your
like
joke.
the
dementia.
don't know. Shouldn't he have the biggest boner over being asked to handle intelligence? But everybody was like, no, because they're not asking him to be James Bond. They're asking him to be George Smiley and just read reports and disseminate
Not- yeah,
information
and not
as
be
necessary.
able to talk about them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the cynic in me is like he didn't actually need any kind of special clearance, and they just wanted to fuck with him. And they're like,
Oh, that's
"Haha,
funny. I
he
like
wants
that.
to play James Bond. All right, cool. We'll give him the job of intelligence officer, and he'll think that's the greatest fucking thing
That
until he's
does-
read his like 40th page of blathering nonsense."
That does kind of sound like something Cisco might do to amuse himself.
My related question is, why does the Klingon ship need a science officer if they're just doing a search and rescue mission?
Yeah, somebody's got to run the scanners.
Yeah, I'm guessing that like on a Klingon ship, the science officer is less like, oh, let's analyze this pulsar, and more like, you know,
What's the most efficient way to punch this thing?
yeah, exactly.
Maybe. That's a good point.
Now,
Like, how
now
do
I'm
we
just-
scientifically annihilate our enemies?
Now I'm just picturing like a lab full of Klingons, and they're all in the big Klingon armor, but they've squeezed like lab coats over it,
Nice.
and it's just various like machines and chemicals punching things. Good.
Yeah, but it's also probably like, you know, like when you analyze the enemy ship,
Yeah,
the science officer probably like figures out, okay, here's the yield we need on our, you know, on our missiles in order to
Right. Here's
penetrate
their
their
soft
shields
spot.
or whatever.
yeah. Oh, the hull is made of this metal, which means do this.
It's like a geologist that works for an oil company is just
Yeah.
they're not studying the earth, they're studying how to destroy the earth.
Yes, exactly.
Hooray.
That's right. We're calling you out, geologists who work for oil companies.
Which
You've
is
betrayed
most of you,
everything
because
you believe in.
that's probably one of the few ways to actually make good money in the field of geology.
Yeah, no, it's either that or teach geology, pretty much, I'd imagine.
He said good money.
We're gonna get so much
Hey.
shit from geologists.
Yeah, we've lost all of our geologists who work for oil companies.
What are they
listeners.
going to do? Throw rocks at us? Oh, they might. Fuck.
Oh no, they know which rocks to throw.
Please don't throw rocks at my tender head.
Why is your head so tender?
Compared to a rock, anyone's head is tender.
I don't know. I don't think
Not
they have the
compared to
stones.
coffee.
Ah!
That's a good one. I like
I
that.
missed it.
Oh, he said,
Those
I
are
don't think they have
testicles.
the stones.
Oh, that is good. Bah,
Ah!
I was late,
Bah.
sorry.
That's all right.
We're getting punchy.
We can
Anything
be
else
here.
about this episode?
We're here all day, you know?
I hope we're not here all day. I'm getting tired of this shit already.
Wow.
Jesus.
Already,
We're our own.
we've talked about it for a long time.
But does anyone have anything else about this motley crew?
Ha! Motley Crew. That's good.
No. Don't
It
believe
was,
so.
I guess, it was the scene with, Martok inviting Worf into his house was nice.
It was very sweet. I did
I
love
liked
that.
Especially because he was, standing there at first. He's back in uniform, just looking sadly down on the crew celebrating, knowing he can't really be part of the celebration in the same way because he's still so disconnected from his people despite everything else. So to have
they've all
Martok...
been huge dicks to him. Besides,
That's
like
it.
everybody was a douche to him the whole time he was there. That's why Jadzia really went, because they respect her more.
True. But then
Yeah,
for
and then,
Martok...
and then Worf takes off the son of Moog pin and says, "Fuck you, Dad! I have a new dad now."
I'll see you in hell, Dad. Oh wait.
Oh wait, we cut that out of the episode.
So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, poor Kern though.
Oh,
Who?
yeah, no kidding.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my
So
joke.
does this
when
mean Alexander also becomes an honorary member of the House of
No,
Martok?
Alexander.
Yeah, he's just
No.
Alexander
fucked.
is fucking without honor.
Yeah, seriously.
exactly.
I actually
Son,
remember...
I've dissolved the House of
this-
Morg officially. Oh, cool, Dad. What house are we a member of now? We?
I won't spoil anything, but this does get addressed eventually.
Oh no.
Okay.
I remember the
interesting.
episode.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
Does
my
Alexander
joke
actually show
when
up?
Martok is asking Worf, like, I'm going to need the best first officer for this mission that I can find. What's Kern's number?
But Kalar is
Well,
dead,
he
sir.
was busy.
Oh, Kalar, miss her.
Yeah.
I mean, Riker worked on a Klingon ship once.
That's true.
How many little Riker Klingon
Oh no.
hybrids are running around?
Oh, that's the one other thing I want to mention before we sign off.
Oh dear.
Curzon definitely fucked the engineer's mom.
Oh, definitely. Not even
Yeah.
a question.
No, that was amazing.
Yeah, I would have been great if she like pulled her hair back and there were spots on the side of her face.
Oh man, Jake's fanfic is coming true.
That's
There
right.
we go.
There you go. Yeah, and I like how like the joke was like Jetty's like, yeah, Curzon was taken with lots of people, and the engineer's like, yeah, my mom was a whore.
I don't know. I like the equity of slutting around.
Yes,
That's a
it's
good.
true.
I find that a positive thing. And
Yeah.
by the 24th century or whatever, that's how it should be.
Yeah, but it's one thing for Jadzia, who's basically making a self-deprecating joke in a way, versus the other one being like, yeah, my ma was a tramp.
I think she's more proud of it though, and I like that.
I thought she was too.
It's
I
like
also thought she
embrace-
was into Jadzia.
Jadzia embraced the fact that Curzon was just probably based on Roddenberry.
Oh, definitely.
Just man whoring around.
Gross. Anything else before I Jake us out?
I got nothing.
Ames? All right. Well, thank you for joining us for episode 204 of A Star to Steer Her By.
Whee!
If you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more, you can find us where all fine podcasts are sold. We are on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
All the
and
podcasts.
Did I already say SoundCloud? SoundCloud?
Yep, you did.
Jesus Christ. Well, just once more for good measure. If you want to find us in other media, you can find us on Facebook by searching for A Star to Steer Her By. We are SSHB Podcast on Twitter and Tumblr, or you can visit our website at sshbpodcast.com. My name is Caitlin.
My name is Jake.
This has been Chris.
And this is always Ames.
Rule of acquisition number 208. Sometimes the only thing more dangerous than a question is an answer.
Hey.
Zeki.
Gross. Still gross.